CEWT Talk is a weekly 20-minute podcast brought to you by the Continuing Education Workforce Training Division of Idaho State University's College of Technology. This podcast is part of our continuing outreach efforts, and the format is conversation. We're having conversations with businesses, professionals, entrepreneurs, community agencies, and in all cases, difference makers. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and SoundCloud. So subscribe today. Take 20 minutes and hear from people living in your community who are making a difference in your community. It's time to get started with CEWT Talk. Hello, everyone. This is Jason Batalden with Continuing Education Workforce Training. I'm the Assistant Director here. If you are regular to our podcast, you know that I'm a frequent host. And with that being said, you're also very aware of Paul.
Paul, yes. Deja vu. It sounds like we're doing this all over again.
Now, Paul, you're going to tip off the secret of modern day, right? Is the ability to start over, right? This isn't film or tape. We have all the digital space in the world.
Right.
Well, with that being said, we have three very special guests today. But before I can go any farther, I do have to say the magic word. And the magic word is welcome.
Welcome.
So welcome everyone to the show, and we especially want to welcome our three guests today. So I'm going to kind of start it off and just have you guys introduce yourself, share a little bit about yourself and kind of the organization you represent. We'll just start first with Lisa.
Well, my name is Lisa Adams. I am one of the co-founders of Business Women of Pocatello. We established the organization in 2017 with the vision of just being able to network with other women and help women in business become empowered to be leaders in our community. So we're very excited that we're able to be here with you today. And I'll turn it over to Kathryn.
Hi, my name is Kathryn Dye, and I am the current marketing director for the Business Women of Pocatello. And I have been with business, this will be my third year. I love being a part of this group. So I love what we do for the community. Angie?
Hi, my name is Angie Leone, and I am involved with Business Women of Pocatello as an executive board director. Or board of directors, and I have been a speaker for one of their main events before COVID, and I've been helping Lisa to improve board performance the past year, and I've been involved about 2 years. I love the women that I get to work with, and I love empowering other women in the community and just being a help to those who are willing.
Excellent.
Very cool.
Excellent.
Thank you. So, Lisa, I'm going to just kind of jump back to you for a minute. The organization started in 2017. Mm-hmm. Is that correct?
Yep.
And to help women network in business and to empower. Just a little bit, the idea came to you, or how did the idea coming together to form this group, how did it happen?
Well, to be quite honest, when I first started in business, it was extremely hard for me to get out and network, be taken seriously. We do have, a lot of business avenues here in Pocatello, but it was hard to establish those connections with a lot of male counterparts. Mm-hmm. And I found myself in my personal business, women are naturally more drawn to a woman financial advisor. And so we were able to connect in that way. Additionally, I saw that there were other women that were experiencing the same type of issue where they weren't being taken seriously, they weren't being heard. And so I thought it would be great to be able to find another women's group. And there is another women's group, Zonta, out there, but it was geared more towards helping out the community. And I need something for business. I want to be able to grow in my business. I want to be able to help other women grow in their business while also networking.
Mm-hmm. So in a way, kind of also combining voices together, to create a voice, a voice that's heard, a voice that's influential in the community.
I guess, an ignorant question, so forgive me, and that had to be a little difficult at first, right? I mean, a little difficult to kind of get people to take this movement seriously. And I'm not trying not to be mean, but I am from Southeast Idaho, and I am kind of familiar. Sometimes the mentality isn't always necessarily, I wouldn't say anti women in business, but definitely probably not pro women in business, maybe.
I think it's changing. I think that a lot of women are stepping up to the plate, and I think it was last year or the year before that we actually came out, and Southeast Idaho had the largest amount of women business owners in Idaho. So that was really, really fun information to read about. I do think it is changing, and the amount of support that we've received today is excellent. But when we did start out, it was very difficult. We heard a lot of negative feedback, but that just comes with the territory, and I'm glad we were able to push through that. So
I guess my question again kind of comes over to you, Kathryn, a little bit is, how do you, as the marketing director, right, you have to take the mission, which is to create this voice of empowering, this voice of networking, of connecting, and pushing that out there. What challenges are you finding, or what victories are you having as you attempt to do that?
Well, I would say the challenge is getting people to be interactive, to stay in the know, or stay active with our social media, our email, keeping them up to date. Those are all challenges for us. But I think that we've done a really good job, especially this coming year. I think that it's turned around a lot over the last couple of years, especially with the challenges of COVID.
Yeah.
We've been able to continue to network with everybody and find ways around it to still keep engaged with each other. So we started a book club. We're trying to find really good guest speakers throughout the year to make sure that we're keeping everybody engaged, meeting each other. So it's been interesting, but I think we're in our fourth year now, we're going to be the most successful.
I was wondering, just, regardless of whether, is a female-owned business or as a business owner versus male, I think one common denominator in that factor is when you're starting the business, sometimes that business consumes you, right? And the rest of the world outside of what you're focusing on your mission, on your product or on your service and on your customers and on what you're trying to do, everything else just sort of fades in the background. And I suppose there there needs to be that reminder that there's a bigger community here, and there's a bigger world than maybe just the spreadsheet sitting in front of you.
Yeah, and that's another thing I love about our group is that we're all rooting for each other. So every time we meet up with each other, we're talking about business, we're talking about our next event, we're talking about what's going on in our businesses, and we're rooting each other on. We're sharing the information. I can say I have been more successful in my business because of this group.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
And just curiosity, what business is that?
Well, I'm in sales. I work for Airmark Uniform Services. So when you're in sales, it's hard to meet up with people who want to actually talk to you. But when you have referrals of these beautiful women behind you, it helps a lot.
And Lisa, what business do you? I'm assuming that you have your own personal business, and what is that?
So I actually co-own, so I have a business partner, but I co-own Rockwood Stone Wealth Management. We actually purchased it this last January. So we're in 1 year, a little over a year.
And what is that business?
It is a wealth management firm. So we focus on helping people with long-term investments, retirement, financial planning. Yep.
Okay, excellent. And Angie, I know that you actually did you leave the university recently to start your own business?
Well, my business has been going for 3 years, but it's taken off in the last year. And so I was able to leave the university, which I'm sad about, but I'm still working with a lot of the people at the university. And my business is called Black River Performance Management. When I work with ISU, it is called People Smart. It's a different business under my name and not under. My husband's a 10% owner in Black River, and I'm 90% owner in Black River. And so, but People Smart is my own business. So that is finding people problems within organizations and providing research-based solutions and helping people to basically thrive in the workplace. We believe work should fuel the human spirit and not drain it. And that's what we try to do, is help accomplish that through a variety of interventions.
Oh, excellent.
So this question, Lisa, I don't mean to isolate you from this question, so forgive me. But I am curious about both Kathryn and Angela, and I'll pose this question to Angela first. How did you get involved in Business Women of Pocatello? How did you hear about it? How did you get started in it? How did you get involved in it?
I want to say my first connection with Lisa was Leadership Pocatello. And then I got to know her. I actually was a facilitator for leadership. And I think and then we were in for the first day, and then we got to know each other, and she started to invite me to the luncheons. Then I went to the luncheons. Then I was the guest speaker. So I fell in love with Lisa. That's how
Excellent.
Right on. And very cool. And Kathryn, how did you come to it?
Let's see. I was in sales and I was looking for networking groups, and I was searching social media, and I happened to find a meeting that they were having, and I showed up, and I don't think I ever left.
No, we don't want to say it that way. They couldn't get rid of you.
That sounds more like a kidnapping.
Right.
Probably.
Right. So, I guess the question kind of weird is, and not weird, but the appeal or the draw or why this works, at least from I'm hearing from the three of you, is because there's a connection involved in this group that isn't otherwise available in the areas of which you have, your career chosen paths. That this sort of there's a synergy, a force, and energy that isn't otherwise available. Is that true? I mean, you guys have all this. You're not new to business, none of you, and none of you are like this is your first rodeo, so to speak. But there's something here that you knew was unique to it that wasn't available in other ways.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly correct. I feel like I have a lot more support. I feel like I've been able to grow my business. I get a lot more referrals. When I do go to other networking events now through chamber and such, I have developed relationships with the women. And so you're able to talk to other people and new people. And it's just kind of a ripple effect from there on. So I'm extremely happy that we started this and that it's progressed. I'm extremely happy I have great board members to keep things flowing, because I certainly couldn't do it on my own. So I think that it's been beneficial for all of us.
Yeah.
Hey, I know I was on your website and I noticed that there's a link that says something about grants that are available. Could you maybe go into that a little more?
Yes. So last year was the first year that we were able to give out grants, but something we do on an annual basis is raise funds for those grants. So last year we weren't able to have our annual event. We have what we call November Mix and Mingle every year. It's our largest event of the year where we raise most of our funds to be able to give out money for those grants. Cole Chevrolet has been a sponsor and a great advocate for us to be able to give out those funds every year. So we're extremely grateful to them too.
And what are the funds for, and who are they for?
So we wanted the funds to go to women in business. So it can be geared for either starting a business, going to school for business, or to work on your business to improve it. So we did have an application process. So we go through and read those applications, and the selection process is extremely difficult because you want to give a little bit to everybody. So.
So in this grant process, have you had any success stories or stories that you can speak of?
Yeah, Kathryn, do you want to talk a little bit about our grant recipients last year?
Yeah, I'd love to. So the first year we were able to give out a $500 non-member grant to a medical office that needed some equipment to help improve their meetings with their clients. But my most favorite grant is the $1,000 grant that went to the My World Discovery Museum. It's the new kids museum at the mall, and they dedicated the little pizzeria there in our name. So that was my favorite part. So I can't wait to give out grants again this year.
Oh, excellent.
And the pizzeria actually teaches kids how to operate a business. So that was really, really neat and respected for us. So
that's very cool. So we kind of alluded to this a couple times now in the podcast about the infamous year 2020, the COVID year. And obviously it impacted your organization and how you got together and the challenges that presented. So now we're in 2021, and even though COVID hasn't magically disappeared, maybe we've got our feet under us a little bit better and now can be more proactive. What do you guys see yourself doing this year that maybe you couldn't do last year, or what do you see yourself doing this year that you had to morph, right? You pivot or hybrid models, what do you see for the future as you're moving through this?
Angie, would you like to speak on this?
Sure. I think a couple of things. Number one, we wanted to create more connection. And one of the ways that we're doing that is with a book club. And we have some ways to communicate. We're using an app called Band, and we're staying more in touch with our members. Another way that we're doing is we're going to do some personal professional development. We're going to have that up and coming in March. And so I think that's going to provide a really good educational opportunity at no cost to members. The annual membership fee to BWP is only $50, and just this one workshop alone would cost way more than that. So we're offering that. I think obviously we want to have some, now that we're up to 50 people, I think we might be able to do some of our events or do 2 events if we need to split them, or whatever. By the time we get to those, maybe we'll be able to have more just more live events, because I know that people are missing connection the most, and we're trying to fill that gap. The other piece I see as a strategic plan moving forward is creating some collaboration with maybe some other sponsors that want to help support women in business and donate and help us spread the word to get more membership, because the more money we raise, the more we can help other women in business. And it's been a challenge with COVID, but we're getting through it. But it'd be nice to be more than getting through it. It'd be nice to have a record year.
Right.
So, I would imagine part of your what you would like as an organization is to get more members and more people involved. And with COVID, because of social distancing, I'm sure you had to change a lot of your events to online. Now, part of having a live event is the chatting before and after a speaker. But, with these online events, it's a little hard to do. Has that affected your getting new members into your organization?
No, we're actually, surprisingly, we're on track to have the largest membership that we've had so far. Right. And I think it's because we're implementing a lot of different avenues, such as Angie said, of being able to connect with each other and working around COVID. We have a planned out itinerary as far as our meetings for. If we have to go online, this is what we're going to do. If we can do it in person, this is what we're going to do. So now that we're familiarized with COVID, we have a plan for either or.
So Kathryn, that kind of leads towards, getting the word out. You said that you're responsible for the social media for the organization. What kind of promotion are you doing for your organization?
That's a great question. For the most part, I make sure to post often, because I feel like people don't see it unless you're posting often, right? So be following that page in order to see it here and there. So there's that. There's the emails to our members asking our members to get the word out. we have talked about also at our in-person meetings, giving out cards for people so that they can also pass along that information. We've encouraged our board members to try and recruit 2 new members. So we're really working on that membership, and then also doing things that, like, maybe I don't like one thing, but somebody else likes to do another thing. So we're going to try and do things a little bit different. Like, one time we might have coffee with our group. One time we'll have our dinner with our group. And then also on top of that, offering volunteer opportunities.
Right.
So somebody might not want to join the book club, but they might want to go out to the zoo and volunteer some time.
Right on.
So lots of options.
Speaking of volunteering some time, other than the grants, do you guys have other community outreach programs that you do?
I'll go ahead and answer. We don't have necessarily a program, but what we do is we try to get our members to come up with ideas from their businesses, so that we're including their business within our group as well. So they know what we're all doing. They're more informed about what each member has to offer.
Okay.
You know, I guess the thing that kind of summing up both kind of what you and Lisa were just talking about there a little bit too is, you know, there's that sort of adage in business, right? Success breeds success. And so it sounds like in spite of the struggles of the infamous year 2020, the success of the organization, the synergy, the voice that you've created, the advocacy that you've created. Sorry. That was the magic timer, by the way. It sounds like that because of those things that you've done and created, you know, you're beginning to get some momentum in the community and in your organization. So, I mean, that's encouraging in spite of the difficult year, isn't it? That's a little encouraging.
Absolutely.
Right. I've got a couple questions.
Paul's going. Go, Paul.
I'm going for it. I'm going for it. So, as part of your organization, obviously you're meeting together. Do you find that obviously you're supporting each other as well? Do you find that, like, you are discovering that you have similar struggles and problems, and maybe even similar victories in your businesses as you talk amongst yourself? Is that what you're finding? And maybe that's what the whole point of the organization.
Yeah, I know that I've been able to build a connection just by talking about the struggles that I have in my business, or the struggles that I have personally with my personal growth. And then also being able to find someone else in that group that I might have these struggles, but they're that person's strengths, and they're able to help me or offer a certain training, such as Angie. She's offered me a lot of trainings that I've been able to get with and learn from. And so also leadership of Pocatello and Chubbuck through the chamber. Kathryn and one of my board members got me involved with that. And we're able to get other ladies involved. So we're always constantly just trying to help each other out and build off of each other's strengths and weaknesses. So.
Excellent. Excellent. Now, which at the end, so I'm going to ask the most important question. If someone wanted to reach out and contact you about joining or possibly applying for the grant, how would they do that?
I think the best way is to just send an email to us, or you can find us on our Facebook page, Business Women of Pocatello. The email is businesswomenofpocatello@yahoo.com. Additionally, if you just wanted to apply, you can just go to our website and look under membership. So, and
that website is bwpocatello.weebly.com. Is that it?
Yes. So it might be easier just to type in businesswomenofpocatello.com.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Excellent.
Very good.
Well, Jason, I think it's a wrap-up time, right?
Well, the timer went off, yeah. And Bill, look, I appreciate all of you being on the show today, and thank you for sharing. I'm excited. I didn't share this at the beginning, but talk about networking, Kathryn. I think our Instagram page follows you, or vice versa. And I was kind of going through and just trying to figure out what our Instagram world looked like for our continuing education workforce training. And I ran across this. And so then, of course, I did the Google search and looked on your page and looked on the Facebook. And I thought, this would be a great podcast. So, I mean, that's still happening, right? I mean, we're getting, social media is getting overran with all these, our voices they're melding together. And so it's nice to know that, that we can still, those are valuable tools and resources to get out. And so I'm very thankful that you guys agreed to come on the show and share a little bit about yourselves and about Business Women of Pocatello, and just thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, we're grateful too. Thank you.
Right
Thanks
on.
for having us very much.
With all
coming
that
back anytime you want.
What's that?
Keep coming back anytime you want.
Right.
So Jason, you didn't find this organization through Angie?
No, I
thought you found it through Angie, and that's why Angie's on, and she told you about the organization.
Dude, this was a total cold call.
Wow!
Email address that
coincidence.
Website.
Well, good job, Kathryn.
Yeah, my marketing worked.
Yeah, right on. It was a total cold call. I was like, I'm going to contact them and ask if they want to come. This sounds great. So anyway, and then I saw Angie's name on it, and our few regular listens know that Angie Leone is a regular on our podcast show. So we are so glad to have her.
I love it.
Bro.
Angie, I got to say, after my performance today, we might have you become the new host of the show. So I just want to tell you that. So with that being said, Paul, we got to shut this baby down.
Right.
And so you can reach us on our website at cetrain.isu.edu, or you can contact us phone in the old-fashioned way, I guess, 208-282-3372. Thank you very much for being on the show today. And
yes.
You got supporters. I'll like your stuff on Facebook, Kathryn, I promise. So thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.